Success. Hello. This is Jaylyn with Crafty Girl Creations. Got excited because it took me forever to get this live to start. I just kept sitting here waiting and waiting, but finally it went. So, welcome. And I wanted to, well, let's just start with the way we're supposed to. I'm Jaylyn with Crafty Girl Creations, and today is Saturday, May 30th, and we are going to do a one sheet wonder. Now, sometimes people will do them with 12 by 12 sheets of designer series paper. What I thought we'd do is continue with the Scenic Coast 6 by 6 paper that we've been showing and show off my favorite color. And if you don't know by now what my favorite color is, I've got a problem because, yeah, purple, you know, purple. Purple. So if you don't know, it's purple. Um, I am going to show you how to do multiple cards today using that technique. And I know it's not technique Saturday or Tuesday, but it's simple card Saturday. And this is just a simple way to create multiple cards. And then you could put any sentiment you want. So if you are just running, all of a sudden your kids come up and say, Mom, such and such, brought this over for us, and you want a thank you card, and you're fresh out of them. This will give you an easy way to have a few of these on hand to where all you got to do is get your stamp or your punch out a sentiment that you can stamp, and find a sentiment that fits your punch, and then boom, card made. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over. I am working on my um, on the camera not floating around. I'm almost there. I've almost got it figured out. But they change things from when, they put out videos showing you where things are, and then that company goes and changes where it is. So that's just the nature of the beast. So, but I'm working on it. So let's go ahead and switch on over to what we've got. I'm going to move my purple cup over here so it doesn't shadow this. And you guys saw it for a second. Come on. Come on. Yeah, we'll do it my way. Come on. Let's go up here. There we go. It's a good camera. Okay, what I have done is I have taken this 6 by 6 sheet of paper and I've already cut it down. That's our scrap piece. That's it. That's all the waste we're going to have. So I'm going to go ahead and remove him because what we have now is a 1.5 inch by a 5 1/4. I'm sorry, 1.5 by 5.5 to fit your card. And then we have 4 1.5 by 1.5 inch squares. We've got a 3 by 3 and then 3 1 by 1s. That's how you're going to cut that. So again, just to kind of get my camera back up here. Come on, baby. There we go. You're doing so nice. We've got a 3 by 3, a 1 by 3, or 3 1 by 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.5 by 1.5, and then one last piece of a 1.5 by a 5.5. So now, what color cardstock do we? What I'm going to do? One card I know we're going to make is we're going to take this and we're going to put some of these on here, and we'll figure out where we want them. But it's just going to kind of give you just a neat little simple card, and then we'll put that on the card. This will make one card, and then this will make one card. But we might even take, so we could make 4 cards, or we could take and do a 1 card like that, and maybe do some white backgrounds with it. So we're going to definitely need, I'm going to put let's do this, because I know that's how, we got plenty of Highland Heather in there. Oops, look, we got a card base already. And we'll cut one more card base. Oh, looky here. I've even got a embossed piece that I've saved. We can even maybe do something with that. I got two of them. That's why I say save your scraps, because you never know when you're going to use them. So we got that. And then let's look at some fresh freesia, maybe. I know I've got some. Or bubble bath? No, I don't think I like the bubble bath. Let's see here. Try to keep that there. Da 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 da. But now I have fresh fruit. There it is. Nope, that's pretty in pink. One second, because there's combinations for every. Ooh, this would be pretty. Petal pink. Look at that. Mm-hmm. So we'll cut one of those too. So we're going to take and cut these for card bases and maybe other. So we'll see what we come up with. Oopsie. Get that 5.5 back there because I didn't quite cut through both. There we go. Alrighty, and we'll go ahead and take these two, flip them over at 4 1/4 and score them. Since I'm doing two at a time, I press down just a little harder than I normally would. And my bone folder. We'll do at least 3 cards. But you'll see quickly how they're easy it is to do 4. Let me get these two. Go ahead and get them scored too. 2, 3. I do it 4 or 5 times, maybe 6. But that's when I'm doing 2 at a time. I usually only have to do it a couple times when I'm doing just one. So you see why I love this, why I think it's almost a necessity to have one of the cutter scorers. And we'll leave this here for a second because, oh, come on, baby. Let's get the camera up here. Can't see nothing, can't learn nothing, right? Okay. So I am going to take, yeah, because these are going to go on that color. Not so sure I'm liking that, but we'll see. And I want to take and do this. And we might even use one of these to kind of, there we go. Just a nice simple, yeah, there we go. I like it. So let's do this for our first card. I'm going to set this up out of the way. And see, and that's using, it's an old, but that's using a piece, a 1 by 5.5 that we had for an embossing folder. I don't think we have it anymore, but you know, it's, if you have it yourself and you've used it, then you'll be able to see that and go, oh, hey, I can do that. So we'll just glue this on. It goes top to bottom. Oops, scoot that over to the edge. Want it to, and then we're going to take these and put them up on dimensionals. Where's my big ones? Here we go. I've misplaced my take your pick tool and I miss it tremendously, but I'll figure out where I put it one of these days. I bet you guys have never done that, replaced or lost your take something in your craft room. Never. We just don't do that, do we? Oh, one more. We'll set this aside. Now it's just deciding where I want this. Yeah, I'm thinking I want my sentiment. Because you could put it down here, you could put it up here, you could put it offside. There's so many different ways you could do it, but I think I kind of like that, where it just kind of, gives you a little bit of a place to do something there, and that brings out my punch. And the punch that just came out is the rounded edge rectangle punch, and that gives you an opportunity to, and me, I keep everything, so, well, can't use that one. I do, because I'm like, why waste money? Money's very precious these days. So I'm going to put this all the way down to the end. Punch that out. And let's say we want to use, let's pull out the Highland Heather purple. Yep, we'll use that. And let me see, get my stamp set out here for what we've been using this week. Oops. Oops, I've been playing with it this morning, so. What did I do with? Oh, there it is. And we can put, let's see, up. Because I don't have a thank you, which is what I was talking about earlier, but we'll just put the adventure continues. Just because it's pretty and it fits. The important part, it fits. Okay. Then we're going to put that right in the center here. And let's see what we've got for, oh, pretty. These are the frosted iridescent dots. And let me pull them out because I've got some Highland Heather here too, but it's frosted, so that'll look really nice on. And just get a little one. And then another little one. Put it there. And boom, that's one card. And in what, 5 minutes? Oh, I forgot to put this up on dimensionals. So let's just do that right quick. You guys got what I was doing. What you can't see is right now I'm just tossing these dimensionals over over my shoulder. The adventure continues. It could be an anniversary. It could be anything. It could be a graduation, and it just took a few minutes. So that's card number 1. We'll set that aside, so I'll show you them all at the end here. And let's see what we're going to do next. Let's use the 4x4s. I did cut an extra sheet of the 3x3, but it's a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I did that so we could use the squares. And I might even just, oh yeah, I think I like that, turning it over and using the opposite side. Yeah, that looks really pretty, because then that brings the yellow in too. And I just thought that made just a really nice, you know, contrast. So let's see here. We are going to glue this first one. No, I don't think so. I think I changed my mind again. Dimensionals it might be. Yeah, because I want dimensionals, because by adding the dimensionals, yeah, then I'll be gluing the 4. So I still want something to rise up, you know. Let me get more of the big, well, actually, we know the rule. Don't buy more dimensionals till you are out of the outside. And I need a couple bigger ones, so I'll put that. Because if at Crafty Girl Creations, anything we are is definitely frugal. Oops, I hadn't cut that corner. Whoopsie. There we go. I think that's the last one I need anyway. There we go. Perfect. So, I know, come on up here. Come on back. I'm so excited. I can't wait to find out where that setting is that I need to change. But I'll figure it out. I figured it out thus far. Because remember the early days? 2, 3, 4. Okay. I do believe it had a direction, so we're going to take it, put that right smack dab in the upper middle. And then I am going to glue these on in the order that I just placed them, because it's all water movement. And I'm not pushing down heavy yet because I want to make sure I get them all in the right place before, so that everybody's got the right kind of spacing. There we go. And I should be almost down to, oops, don't want to do that side, I want to do this side. Yeah, this could be somebody going on their honeymoon with The Adventure Continues, you know, and you got all the water, they're going on a cruise. And you want to give them a little extra, you know, it's your kiddo and you want to give them a little extra money to have some fun. So now what I should have done and I didn't do, and it didn't make that big of a mistake or a big a deal, is to glue these on first and then put them on the dimensionals, but that's okay. So another piece of scrap paper, scrap white. Ah, this is the one I was looking for, because if you could tell, I've used it quite a bit for the same reason. And what we're going to do, since I'm never going to use that portion, because that's all I'm wasting. I don't waste much, if you can tell. And let's put this in, and nope, we want to go this way to get the maximized amount of paper. I'm putting it over to the right side, make sure I can't see any edges. And we will just use that same stamp. The Adventure Continues. And yes, if you noticed, purple. I guess I decided somewhere today was Purple Day. Alrighty. And we'll go ahead and use the little ones because I've got them handy here. Oops. If you notice how quickly that ink dries, it's because it's an alcohol-based ink. So that dries really super fast. Oh, one more. Oh, somebody can't count. That being me. And there's that. And you could even, I'm just going to continue with these Highland Heather ones because I think they look really pretty. Oopsie. There's our second card. And now it looks like we can make a third. So let's see which one we want to use. We've used one of each so far. So I'll pull this over here, pull these both over here, and Petal Pink and Highland Heather. And I'm going to see how I want to position these. Whether I want to do it that way. No, I think I like it this way just because of the way the water is. And let's see. Okay, since these are, I'm going to make a decision here. And we're going to use some of that Petal Pink. Do I have a small? Nope. Do I have any over here? Nope. I've used all my scraps of Petal Pink, so I'm going to have to cut me a half a sheet here. And remember, you always do a half a sheet like you're cutting for a card base, because you could easily do for a card base and use the other half for what for your layers, but then you still have a card base. And I'll set that side back in the package when I'm done. And then I'll use this one for what I want to cut. These are 1x3s. So I'm going to do 1.5s. Or see. No, 1 1/4. Yeah, 1 1/4. I think I want 1 1/4. Yeah, that's what I want. By 3 1/4. So I need 3 1 1/4s. By golly, I think we're going to get 4 done today. So 1 1/4. Just need 3 of these. Oh, I moved it. Bear with me. There. So then I'll put that in with the extras. And I'm going to put 2 of these together so I can get 1 cut, or 2 cut at once, to 3 1/4. And what I'm doing, if you haven't figured that out, is making a border for these sheets out of the, the color that we chose to accent with, that I chose to accent with. And don't think I'll throw these away. I've got 3 of these now. Those are sentiment borders for something else. I just put, what I do is, if you're asking what I do, how I keep those by, while I'm gluing that, I keep those by, what am I trying to say? Here's my neurological fun. I keep those in the package, in the original packaging of the paper. So they're going to all slide back in that paper where I originally pulled them out of. Okay. You're just making sure these are, nice and even on all the sides. And I got one. There we go. That's better. There we go. Because nothing in what I do here at Crafty Girl Creations is you have to be perfect at. None of it. Because I don't believe handmade cards are perfect. I believe we could get them as perfect as we think they are. But I think if you realistically look at them, they're not going to be as perfect. But who's going to do that? They're going to open the card up and they're going to go, "Ooh, that's so pretty." Wouldn't you? I do. So why wouldn't they? Okay, now if you could see this has got that nice shimmer on the, oh, love it. So it changes the way the card looks. See, now they're a little bit bigger and they're going to fit nicer on the, yeah, I think I like, I don't know. Let's see. Ooh, I just thought of something. What if we could do that? Let's see how that looks in the camera too. I'm just gonna kind of setting them down here for a second. I know I need to. Hold on, up here, because I can't see it. There we go. I think that's a little too much. I think I like it this way better. But I always try things because you never know what might look better. So I like that better. So I'm going to start by taking and see, how do I want to do this? So whether I want to start, I think I want to start with the middle one because I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to find my center up and down. And I can do that with the glass mat here. And that looks pretty good because we're lining it up right there. And that's about where I want it. Yep, I took it off, but I know exactly where I want it. Okay, let's do that. And now we are going to do that again. And top to bottom, right to left. And I think that's pretty good. Then we're going to decide which way we want this one. It kind of looks just like a, I don't know, like just an artistic kind of card. Got a fuzzy. There we go. I got it. Need to check my blades. If you haven't checked your blades on your cutter, sometimes you got to do that every now and then. And then I'm going to take and do the same thing with this one. And I won't need to, yep, see, look, it's already good. So I glued that down. And it does matter whether you're doing 3, 4, 5. You could do more than just 3. It's just I wanted to show you the one sheet wonder with the 6x6 today. So we've got that. Now, because I just thought of something. Because we did that, what am I going to do here? I don't want to use the white, but I don't necessarily want to. I'm thinking about our sentiment, but I'm going to keep it simple because that's what today's all about. Simple Card Saturday. So I'm just going to use the same color here versus the petal pink versus the other, and versus the white that we've been using. I just want to try that out and see how it looks. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to come in here a little bit. Okay. Not exactly happy with that one, so I'm going to flip it over. And it was just not on the, it was too far to one side. But I might have to, nope, there you go. That's better. Yeah, see how that looks better with this? And now I got to figure out whether we want it here, which I think I do, and I'll show you why here in a minute. So we'll get some dimensionals. 2, 3, 4. I use 5 on these because that way it supports your center so it doesn't get, oopsie. I got to clean up under my desk. I wouldn't show you that right now if you paid me. And if you notice, even though I did use that side, it doesn't, they die the cardstock all the way through. There we go. The adventure continues. And then with our, yep, I had them right here. So trying to see if one looks, since we've got the petal pink. Nope, I still like the purple. So we're going to start here. And when you're adding your dimension or your embellishments, you like to try to keep them in groups of 3 or 5. And instead of coming all the way down here, I decided just to do my 3 here. 1, 2, 3. That way the card reads either way. It reads "The Adventure Continues," or they look at and read it this way. So that's card number 3. So now we are left with a 5.5. I think a 5.5. Let's see here. I think so. Yep, a 5.5. Now what we could do is I could just put it in the middle. That is a nice, that is a what we call a simple layout. Okay, and there is nothing wrong with that. So we're going to do that. We are going to take and glue this. There we go. Ooh, let's see what we're going to do with this. Okay, I know what we're going to do with that. Okay, we are going to take and we're going to do this off center, and we're going to add a layer underneath first. So we're going to start that at about center of the card. And remember, this was a piece of scrap. That was that, because it adds a little texture with it being embossed. We're started about center, and this one will actually be like a 1/4 inch. Oops, let's get it down there just a little bit like that. And straighten it up just a little. I used the guidelines. There we go. From top to bottom on my glass mat. See, let me scoot this up so you can see I'm using this hard line right here, and I'm to make sure it's straight. Then this one we will layer over top. And we're going to take it, oopsie, want to do it the right way, because the card opens this way. And I'm going to cover about half of that up. Roughly, I'm just going to eyeball it, just to make sure it's, flush top to bottom. So it kind of gives it a little bit of extra. And once again, let's use that. I have an idea. I always have ideas. So we're going to come over here. You see where I'm going to the edge and then to where I don't see any paper. And look how finely. Do you guys see that? That's how good. That's how if you do that, that's how little waste you have. What do I love doing? Saving people money. And now, something I learned, again by accident before, we're going to color just by dipping it into all I'm doing is dipping the ink or that into the ink pad. And you'll see it once we put it on the card. It's got a purple edge now. So let me go ahead and stamp it with "The Adventure Continues." Because I think I chose that sentiment because my adventure is continuing and I'm loving it and I'm having a blast. Remember, today and tomorrow is the last day to sign up to get the ink colors with the new magnetic ink pads for free. That's a $63 value. So when you could either choose for $99, you get $125 worth of your selection of Stampin' Up! Merchandise or product, and that's $99 with tax. There is no shipping, and if you choose the ink color, if you choose to get the ink colors, then you'll get those and that brings you up to about $160 worth of product. There we go. The adventure continues. And then if you don't choose the end colors with the new, you don't have to. The other option is that you can choose to add $35 more. So $125 plus $35. And let me close my ink, put that away over here, because you guys know how bad I am if I don't put my ink away. I forget to put it away. And we have now got, in 35 minutes, four cards. And I did them in different, some landscape, some. So those are our 4 cards for today. So how easy was that, from one 6x6 sheet of paper and 2 sheets of cardstock? Maybe in a quarter, because I did use some, but everything else I used, like the bands here and here, those were from scraps. That would, if you go out into the world, to the store, and buy cards, you're looking at let's say $7, $28 for 4 cards, when I did this for a heck of a lot less. So let me get my camera to come up here. Come on. Well, we're just going to come back to me anyway, so. Oh, there you go. Well, at least you can see the cards one last time. And you got my email up here at hello@jaylenweinel.com. And let me come back to me. Hello. And still right below here, I'm getting better at this. Now I've corrected that .net at the end. CraftyGirlCreations.StampinUp.net is my online store with Stampin' Up. If there's anything that you liked here and you'd like more information about, you can contact me at hello@jaylenweinel.com, or contact me on my DWBS, which is our business site that I showed you over here. You can, there's a contact me on there as well. So I will post all these. I'll post a picture of these on my online store. You can see my projects, and it will come. I will set up a list for all the things that we use today there. And if you'd like them and you want them, then that's the easiest way to shop with me and get them for yourself. And don't forget that today and tomorrow are the last 2 days for the join promotion. After that, you'll have to get the in colors, by purchasing them. So right now it's like $63 they're going to give you. Take it, you know. And that's it. You guys have a wonderful Saturday. I appreciate you being here. Follow me on Facebook and subscribe on my YouTube. That would be amazing. And if you'd so inclined, you can, there's a guide that's pinned to the top of my Facebook page that you will get a, I'm trying to think, a guide to how to create simple cards. It's just a helpful guide that I think everybody should have. And it just gives you lots of quick, easy ideas. And that would be wonderful to have you. So go ahead and check that out. And you guys have a wonderful, happy Saturday. Bye, friends.